how does the Old Testament communicate God's desire to give life when he also called his people to wipe out other people groups in accordance with his promises to them? Okay, great question. I knew that would come up. Cheryl, maybe just scoot over just a little bit so I can hear you just a little bit better. I have hearing loss, forgive me. First of all, what I'm going to point you to is Romans 12. And Romans 12 is going to be helpful. Romans 12 and 13 is going to be helpful for a lot of questions that might come up. Romans 12, the Apostle Paul says that vengeance belongs to God. Okay? Romans 12 says, in fact, you can turn there if you like, that we are not to take vengeance. Okay? So we don't get to take vengeance. If you are in Christ, you're not called to vengeance. But God says vengeance does belong to him. Okay? So the potter does get to make decisions about the pots he's made. All right? And because God is perfect, God gets to intervene and give life or take life. God gets to do that. Now, here's the other thing I want you to see, though. Where are we in the story? This is very important because when people bring up Old Testament violence, they do so forgetting where we are in the story. Okay, so if this is the Old Testament and God's call to his people to use violence to take life, we have come to a point in the cross where Jesus, who is the Prince of Shalom, who's ruling a kingdom that is a kingdom of Shalom, and we are those who live under that rule and reign now, I would say, God, in his vengeance, has done everything necessary to deal with the sin of humanity in Christ. And we now live on the other side of the cross and are called to be children of God who are peacemakers. Okay? So now, I pointed you to Romans 12. I'll point you to Romans 13 now. God does say in the Holy Scriptures of Romans 13 that God has given authority to the ruling authorities to exact vengeance. Okay, so the one who gets to have vengeance has given authority to rulers and authorities, is given them the sword to enact his vengeance, his wrath. Okay, so I personally, some of you will disagree with me, I personally believe that those who have been called by the ruling authorities to be a part of that instrument, so specifically soldiers, police officers, they are called to be punishers of wrongdoers. I would say, but only they. So this idea that a cop has the authority from God to enact a punishment for a wrongdoer, absolutely. In violence, sadly, yes. But I don't have that authority. And those who say, it's quite popular these days to say, we're going to take this country back and we're going to do so with violence. You need to reread the Scriptures because you do not have that authority. That authority belongs. And I'll just say one more thing. The call of a police officer and a Christian soldier is maybe the highest call, one of the highest calls. Because hear me, and I just heard this the other day from a theologian named Don Wilson, I believe. It's pretty powerful. Because every day you wake up, you realize you serve a higher authority than the governor or the president. And so every day you have to live with the ethical decision-making of maybe destroying your career because you might have to say no to an order given to you by this authority because you serve this authority. So it's a very high calling because the soldiers in our armed forces, And on police forces, they have to submit to the call of Christ above the president and the governing authorities. So it's a very high call. All that said, the scriptures doesn't say God's not going to enact any vengeance. The scriptures say vengeance belongs to God. It doesn't belong to Shar.